My father was a chemical operator, and I don't know how much they knew. I mean, in the earlier years, some of the documents that I have uh, actually indicated that the workers weren't told anything. I mean, they were put in harm's way without their consent, without their knowledge, and without proper protective gear. And I think that was across the board at all 300 and something facilities across the United States.
They really exposed individuals when they could have protected them. There's absolutely no excuse for not protecting individuals as early as 1942 against radiation associated with this work.
Having worked his way up from messenger to electrician, Paul Mitchell would routinely find himself in the most hazardous areas of the plant.
I went down in the furnaces where they melted that. And you had it with heating elements in there. Well, those heating elements would burn out, at the ends of them, just like on your electric dryer. The heating cord will burn out. I had to pull them out, take them to the welder, get them re-welded, and then put them back in. But I was down in the furnace where they melted it. Hell, that thing was as hot as hot could be. A Geiger counter would have went off the charts. And why it didn't kill me, God only knows. I am very, very fortunate.
In January of '51, Merrill Eisenbud, who had been made the first health and safety chief of the AEC, sent a memo to Wilbur E. Kelly, manager of the New York office of the commission. Eisenbud addressed liability concerns of Mallinckrodt employees who were overexposed to radioactive materials.
About a year ago, you asked if it would be possible for us to estimate our potential liability among the long-term Mallinckrodt employees. As I explained at the time, you presented a rather knotty problem, one which, in the state of our estimates of the doses to the critical organs of all Mallinckrodt employees during the period of July 1942 to October 1949. The report shows that there are 17 employees whose lungs have had more than 1,000 rem of exposure.
It's sort of odd. Like now I'm 87, you didn't think nothing about it, you'd be 40 or 50, and there'd be somebody down there they'd say, over in plant 6, did you know so-and-so died of cancer? And say, yeah, well, hell, he's 40 years old. You're thinking, hell, the old man, I guess no wonder he died. He's of the age, You thought nothing of it. The one that got to me, though, there was a guy down there I played golf with. He was a chemist. He was always out in the plant and all around the engineers, where the chemical engineers. All at once, I saw him, and he was skin and bones. And I got to the point when I'd see him, I'd have to go the other way. I couldn't stand to look at him because he was skin and bones. But there would be people who would die, you'd think nothing of, what the hell? And people die all the time, And it couldn't be from what we're doing down there.
Most of the workers were transient, what they called transient workers. They would go area to area, plant to plant. The reason that a lot of these workers were transient was because they were hot. They were made hot. And so there were times when my father, if he came up hot on his badge or threw a breath radon, the company knew it, then all of a sudden they would move him to another area. And then when they thought they'd cooled off radioactively, then they would put him back into the hot area. My mom said that she noticed he was sleeping a lot. My mom and my sister said that he slept just an unusual amount. And my mom said he was putting in a water heater one day, replacing a water heater. And my dad was very stocky built, very muscular, in very good shape prior to this. And she said he began to become very winded while putting this water heater in. She made him a doctor appointment, and he went in, and that's when they found a spot on his lung and realized at that point that he did have lung cancer. And I believe he was just like 40 years old at the time. So they had did a full pneumonectomy, removed the entire left lung. I remember how sick he was. I can remember hearing my mom cry herself to sleep at night. Sorry. He was really sick, and they never complained. They lost their house, they lost their car. He wasn't able to work because it just took everything they had.
Chris Davis lost his battle against cancer on April 27, 1978.